Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another planting video. So today we're going to be doing some propagating and some repotting. Now I kind of have an ongoing list of propagations that I want to take before fall really sets in. We're having a really warm and sunny September so far, which is great. So the plants are still honestly growing really well, but pretty soon things are gonna start slowing down. And especially for my plants that are just in natural light, I am probably gonna stop propagating them once the weather really gets like cooler and darker. That's actually a common question that I get, is whether it's okay to propagate throughout the fall and the winter. Personally, for most of my plants, I do propagate year-round because I'm artificially creating a bright and warm environment for a lot of my plants. Probably about half my plants are under grow lights, I would say. So it really doesn't make much of a difference to them whether, like, what time of year it is, as long as they're getting the conditions that they like. So I'm definitely prioritizing the plants that aren't in cabinets or under grow lights to get all the propagations that I want to take from them done probably before mid-October. So I thought we could do it together today. I do have a list of which plants I am planning to take propagations from today, and we're also going to repot a couple as well. So I'll read it to you because I've got some other top secret information on this page. Okay, so the first propagations that we're going to be taking is from Philodendron micans, which is hanging in the wally grow there. She is getting so long, like she's honestly trailing behind the couch right now, so I really need to give her a chop. Epipremnum skeleton key, which has grown over its moss pole again for the second time. That plant just grows so well, and the newest leaf is really big too, so I'm excited to show that to you. And then we have to address my Monstera standaliana, which is honestly just like growing out of control at this point. I think I'm just gonna restart it, to be honest. I think I'm gonna cut it up and then take the best cuttings, like the most highly variegated ones, and create a new plant from that because, well, you'll see it, but it's just like out of control. And then lastly, I'm going to be taking a couple cuttings from my Monstera Peru. A little nervous about that because I've had a hard time rooting Monstera Peru in the past, but I guess I'll just be crossing my fingers. And then for the repot, we are going to be repotting my Epipremnum Cebu Blue. It looks very root bound, so I'm excited to upgrade it. I'm probably gonna, I think I have like a hanging basket type of planter that I can put it in for now. And then we are going to lastly be repotting my Monstera adansonii, the green form, which I'm honestly obsessed with right now. I'm gonna be repotting it into the eyeball planter. So very excited for that, and it definitely will appreciate the room. Okay, so I guess we are going to be starting with the Philodendron micans. Very exciting stuff happening today. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do this sitting on the ground quickly. So my lovely Philodendron micans, I honestly cannot believe how much this thing has finally grown this summer. I struggled with this plant for the past couple of years, but this is definitely her season to thrive, so I'm very happy. I'm just gonna cut, I don't even know how much I'm gonna cut. What should I do? I think I might cut off like a pretty decent amount. Like I might cut all of this off, so that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 leaves that I'm gonna cut off. So this is just the longest vine. She has a few different vines in here now, so I'm just gonna cut the longest one. Oh, she's so pretty in the sun too. I love how the leaves are like shimmery. I'll have to see if my camera will pick that up in a second. Okay, so I'm just gonna do it. Cut. That is gonna be that for the mother plant, and then I kind of want to do like 2 nodes per cutting. Do I want to do that? Actually, no. I'm gonna do single nodes because once I can pot these all in, then I think I can upgrade the planter size. This is just in a small 4-inch. I'd like it to eventually fill out the Wally Grow planter that it's in. So we're gonna do that. Okay. Some of these like internodes are quite long, so I'm just gonna get rid of this like internodal space in the middle. Same with this one. Now, I think I'm actually gonna try to root these in water. If it isn't going well within the next couple weeks, then I'll probably switch these just to my prop box. But I feel like the weather's still good enough for these to be able to root in water. Okay, so this is what we're working with. This looks so cute in this wooden propagation station too. Okay, yeah, so I have to add some water in there, and then I think I'm gonna try to pop it up near this window. Just wanted to show you how pretty this plant is. Like, it's so shimmery. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it just is so beautiful. I love it, and I'm so glad that I'm finally having success with growing it. Alright, I was able to just squeeze her into this little spot on top of the Millsbow wide cabinet. So she's going to be getting like dappled sunlight and pretty bright light throughout the day, unless it's going to be cloudy out, which hopefully it will stay sunny for a little while longer. So I suspect that she'll root up well, but I will keep you guys updated. This is what Mama is looking like now. So she still looks like really beautiful and full. She just doesn't have that long vine hanging down. Really excited for when the propagations root, because I'll be repotting and upsizing the pot for this plant. So yeah, it's gonna be good. That actually made my planters look a lot more even. So that worked out really well. Now just imagine once it's like more full on either side, filling out that planter, it's gonna look so good. Okay, so up next we have Epipremnum skeleton key. So as you can see, this thing has just really grown quickly for me. This is probably one of my fastest growing Epipremnum. Like, it's constantly working on a new leaf. I've already chopped this once at the top of the pole and potted the cutting into the pot here. So that would be this one. So it starts here, here, this is all a separate plant, and then it goes up here, and this is the newest leaf on that one, and that's rooted into the moss pole also. Both of these, the whole thing, are like fully rooted into the moss pole. So I'm going to be cutting just from here. So we're going to take off this leaf, which is the biggest leaf that it's given me so far. Really cool. I love like the pattern or texture. I don't know, just like the look of the skeleton key leaves is really cool. Like the colors and the veining, I find them quite striking. Like, even if this didn't change shape for me and get mature, I still just like the way that it looks. So I'm probably going to be rooting this in water as well. This is going to be a super easy one. Where are my whatever these are, shears, pruning shears, clippers, snippers. Okay, so I'm just gonna be cutting. Let me get my, this is hard to do with one hand. Just a sec. Okay, I'm ready to go. Ready for it? Oop. Oh, there it goes. Okay, but look at this. It looks like it's already gonna put out another growth point there too. Do you guys see that? Oh, it's blurry, but wow. Very impressive. All right, so I think I'm just gonna keep this intact and just root this as one cutting. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love the way that it looks. Now the question is, how am I gonna root this? All right, you can't go wrong with rooting in water. Don't mind my messy sink today. So I'm just gonna use this little plastic pot. It doesn't have any holes, obviously, and I'm just gonna fill that up with water. And then I'm probably just gonna sneak this in next to the mother plant so it'll be getting like the same lighting conditions. Okay, so I put the mother plant back here, and then I was able to just sneak that guy in right there. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on the roots. That's another really nice thing about water propagation, is that you can see the progress really clearly. Okay, so next we're on to this beast, which, like I said, it is just growing so wild. This plant is so tricky to get to grow up a moss pole and like look nice, because the vines are just so hard to like maneuver and manipulate, and it just ends up looking so crazy. Like, it does not look all nice and uniform like some of my philodendrons that are on poles. So I kind of gave up on that, which is why we have the vines just growing out, but I think I'm definitely just going to be chopping this up. I am getting some really nice variegation on this plant. Like, I love this creamy variegation that I'm getting. Really, really pretty. Look at this new leaf over here. Oh, that is so stunning. I've heard someone say that Monstera, standaliana, albo tend to get better variegation as they mature, so I don't know if that's true or not, but the more this plant grows, it honestly seems to get better variegation. So yeah, these are some of the other leaves. But yeah, I basically think I'm going to be chopping this whole thing up today, so I'm going to get set up for that and then we'll get started. Okay, I'm just going to take the tape off. Ooh, oh my. Okay, so it seems to be rooted into the pole at around this point, so I'm just gonna go ahead and chop. Whoop. It's a big cutting. Same with this side. Oh, that one's got a little root in there. Oop, there it goes. Oop. And there is the other one. I'm going to try to take off this moss pole extension. Alright, so I'm just disassembling this moss pole so that I can reuse the moss. All I'm gonna do is cut it open, remove the moss, and then boil it, and I can use it for my next moss pole project. Next, I'm removing the plant from the pole, I'm basically just cutting each node separately and removing it. Most of the roots broke off, but I wasn't really too worried about that. If you do want to preserve the roots that are in the moss pole, make sure the moss is wet. This one was dry, but if it's wet, then they pull out a lot easier. The plant was pretty much completely rooted through the moss pole. It was actually pretty crazy. Look at that. So I just did the same thing here, just deconstructing the moss pole and removing the moss. I always reuse my sphagnum moss, not only for environmental reasons, but also because it is so dang expensive. I spent quite a lot of time pulling all of the roots out of the bottom part. And I also picked out all the leca that was in the soil mix so that I can reuse that as well. Now I'm just boiling the sphagnum moss. I boiled this for about 20 minutes. I'm not worried really about sterilizing it. I mostly just want the algae to come off and it to all separate. You can do 30 minutes if you are worried about pests or anything like that. Okay, so I just put the sphagnum into this colander and rinsed it, and I'm just gonna let it kind of dry there for a while before I put it into a bin and store it. Usually I move it onto the towel here, but I need to put my dishes away. Let me show you what I've done with the cuttings though. So these are all of the cuttings that I'm going to be keeping and trying to root. So I have all of the nicely variegated ones in here. I have tried to root Monstera standaliana once, maybe I've done it a few times, but the last time I did it, I really struggled. They wouldn't root, they pretty much all rotted. Not sure why, but this time I decided to go with perlite. I just have a little layer of leca at the bottom. This is actually the leca that I pulled out of the potting mix. So yeah, we're gonna do it that way. Perlite doesn't usually fail me, so I'm hoping that these will just root right up. I have to find a spot for them. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put them yet, but yeah, I've already added the water and everything. It's about halfway full. Okay, so next we are moving on to the Monstera Peru. So I have recently transitioned this from being a climbing plant, just because I didn't like the way it looked, to a trailing plant. I'm gonna try that out. I've seen some photos of these trailing and they look really beautiful, especially when you have like a more full pot. So as you can see, I only have one vine. So in order to create a nice full pot, we need to take some propagations. I also need to take the moss pole out because obviously I'm not using it anymore. I just have not gotten around to removing it. So I'm just going to, I guess I'm just gonna take this plant out, because there's probably roots in this moss pole. Oh my goodness, she could actually use an up pot too. Just gonna try to gently remove the pole. There are some roots in it, but honestly not bad. Not bad. Oh, that actually worked out really well. I'm just going to save this moss pole for a different plant. Like, this is still perfectly fine. It's not as thick as I would like. I tend to make my moss poles really thick now, but maybe for a smaller plant it'll be fine. Maybe I can put one of my like no ID Epipremnums or something on this. Not sure. I'm just gonna set it aside for now, and now I just want to take a look. Trying to decide, or maybe I'll leave it for now in this pot, and then once the cuttings are rooted, then I'll upgrade the pot size. Lots of roots though. I'm pretty happy about that. So let's get her potted back in here. I was actually thinking of getting rid of this plant, and then I decided to try out growing it a different way, so I'm really hoping that I'm happy with growing it trailing. I'm actually really excited to kind of see how it turns out. Alright, now I just have to decide how much I want to cut. It's actually a pretty long vine. I think I'm gonna cut maybe here, like about halfway down. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so now I have 5 nodes to work with here. And I am gonna chop them up to be individual again. Let's move her. I'm gonna give her water after. Look how pretty. She's really pretty. I'm excited to have like a full pot of this. Alright, so here are my cuttings. I think I'm just gonna go the water propagation route again. Okay, we are moving on to repotting my Cebu Blue, which, oh my goodness, this is honestly long overdue. It looks like there's like layers of roots wrapping around in this pot, if you can see that. So I'm sure that this plant is going to be really happy with the repot. I've recently put a bunch of cuttings in here too, so I'm hoping that it'll really start to fill out. I do have one more cutting to add in. This is just a 2-leafer. It actually grew that leaf while propagating in water, and it's just such a cute little leaf. Really rooted in there. So we're gonna add that in, and I decided to go with the like bigger hanging basket type pot. This will still fit in my macrame, I think, so I don't think I need like the hanger. But I think that this is gonna give it a lot more surface area to really like bush out, because I really want just like a full version of this. So it's quite long, honestly probably too long. I have to wrap this around my bed frame because these 2 vines are just like really long, and this is actually just kind of putting out a runner at the end, so I could probably cut that off. But yeah, I'm just really excited to get it into something larger. This is not the most aesthetic pot, but at least in the macrame it'll be like a bit cuter, you know? Okay, I see a crystal in here, so I'm gonna take that out first. Now, let's see what we're working with. Okay, so yeah, we definitely have a lot of roots, especially at the bottom there. Like, look at this. Wow. Okay, I think I'm going to just kind of remove the excess soil. Oh, see, I don't want all these cuttings to kind of like fall apart. I'm gonna try to keep everything together as much as possible. Ooh, I should put my myco in here. I'm gonna grab that. Okay. Just gonna reuse some of this soil. It's not that old. Like it's probably, I don't know, just over a year old. But we're gonna add the myco and fertilizer and everything anyways, so I don't think it really matters. Okay. Add our myco. Put a pretty good pinch in that time. Now let's see how this will go in. Oh, perfect. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Okay. I'm just gonna start filling it up with my fresh soil mix that's beside me here. Okay, I'm also going to be adding my Osmocote slow release fertilizer. I've been utilizing this a lot more. I originally bought this for my DIY pond, so I was only using like the tiniest amount because I didn't have very many plants in pond, but now I'm using it a lot more just for all of my plants. It's such a low maintenance way to go about fertilizing, and I've been feeling a bit stretched with taking care of all of my plants recently just because my collection has grown once again, so I think I'm going to start using my Osmocote a lot more because it just makes it so much faster to water without having to mix up my fertilizer solution and everything. So I'm just going to be using this for a little while, honestly. So I'm gonna put about half a teaspoon into this guy. If any of you guys fertilize with Osmocote, let me know. Actually, maybe should I put a full teaspoon? I know that there's a chart somewhere, but I don't know. I don't feel like looking it up. I think I'll put 3/4 of a teaspoon. There we go. Yeah, if any of you guys fertilize with Osmocote, let me know how you use it and what your thoughts are on it. Because yeah, I definitely feel like that's the direction I'm heading in. And then I also can just water my plants in the shower really easily without having to worry about them not getting fertilized. So I think I'm gonna cut off these runners that are coming off of the end here. So, oh, it's a weird leaf. So actually I think I'm gonna cut that leaf off too. I'm just gonna cut here. We have this. I might just pop a couple of those nodes in my prop box and then I can eventually plant them back in since we have so much more space to work with now. Okay, oh, there's actually 3. How many vines do we have? Wait, is that it? Did I just have the 1 runner? I thought there was 2. Oh, okay, this one was running and then started putting out small leaves again, but I think I'm going to chop it right there. And then I'm just gonna propagate. Yeah, I'm gonna propagate. Should I cut here? Yeah, I think I'm gonna, oh my goodness. That literally just like, I barely even touched it and it cut off. Okay, I'm probably just gonna put this little tiny one in water and then I'm just going to put a couple nodes in my prop box. I have not looked in my perlite prop box in a long time. I don't even know what's going on in there. I know a couple things rotted because I was sending some plants to someone and I was trying to root them. They were Hoya and they rotted and I was so surprised because it's never happened to me, and especially with Hoya, like it just seemed so weird. So hopefully that's not going to be a trend. I guess I'm going to just make both of these into a bunch of wet sticks and put them in my prop box. I was thinking of just composting some of them, but I might as well just root them up. I might as well. And then after these are rooted, I'll see how many I can fit in here, and then I think this plant is gonna be like good for a while. It's gonna be super full. Okay, so I'm just gonna go water this plant, but I thought I would show you what it's looking like in its new pot. I'm really, really excited to watch this one grow. So hopefully some of these vines that are starting to grow at the top here start to trail down soon, so it'll be a bit more balanced. It is gonna happen soon. Like, there's several that are growing up here, which is awesome. Okay, so now the thing that I've been most excited to do, potting up my Monstera adansonii. This is one of my favorite plants right now. I'm very, very into it at the moment, but like, how could I not be? It's growing so well. It just, oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we are going to be going into this eyeball planter that I made for one of the spooky repot videos last year. So, you know, 'tis the season. I have to figure out which part I want to be the front. I think, because some parts are kind of like jacked up. I think that's gonna be good as the front. And I might run out of potting soil. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run out. Shoot. Well, I'm gonna reuse the potting soil in here, so let's just take her out. I think that I watered this plant last night and it's like already pretty much dry because the pot was pretty much all roots. Look at that. Oh my. Crazy. So let's put some potting mix. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna reuse the potting mix that's in here. There's like no potting mix even in there. Like, okay. I feel like I just made a batch of soil. I literally did in like one of my last videos, or on my Patreon video, which was like not that long ago, like a few days ago. Okay, so that's gonna be a good height. Okay, I've got my fresh batch of potting mix here. It is just coconut coir, fir bark, perlite, and then pumice, and oh my goodness, it's getting in my throat still, and charcoal from Crystal Star Nursery. So I also realized that I didn't put my mico, so I'm just gonna add that in right now. And then just fill up the rest with potting mix. Can't believe I ran out halfway through filling this pot. There. That's literally all that I needed, was like 2 scoops. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just add some Osmocote again. Me on my Osmocote kick, I think I'll do half a teaspoon. Alright, so that's it. He is all ready to go. Looking amazing and looking festive as well. Love it. Alright, so I think that's gonna be it for this video. Whenever I have these ideas of like the things that I'm gonna put into a certain video, I always feel like it's gonna be so short, and then suddenly I'm filming for like 2 hours. I hope that you guys enjoyed taking these propagations with me and potting up these plants. I'm really excited to give an update. Maybe I'll do another plant chores video once the propagations have rooted, and we can like pot those up together. and I can also give you an update on like the Cebu blue and the adansonii. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys like freaking crazy, and I love our little planty fam here. It honestly makes me so happy. So just thank you for being here, and thank you for all of the support. Don't forget to leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. Also give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!